After I broke my neck in that diving accident back in 1967, I refused to believe that I would remain paralyzed. Doctors told me that I would never use my hands or legs. But it didn't sink in. Every one of my prayers focused on walking again. To me, walking was a good thing. It was a good request to make of God. Jesus says so in Matthew chapter 7, verses 9 to 12, quote, "If evil people know how to give good gifts, how much more will God give good gifts to those who ask him?" Oh boy, what could be better? What could be a better gift than walking, right? I did everything possible to walk again. I worked hard in physical therapy to get back on my feet. I attended healing services and was the first one to wheel up front to receive my miracle. I strained mentally to kind of like make my fingers move. I straightened up my spiritual act, and I began reading God's word more regularly. I prayed more earnestly, thinking that surely God won't ignore the prayers of someone who's trying so hard to please him. Well, you can imagine how disappointed I felt when, years later, my hands and my legs were still limp and useless. I thought, God, you say in Psalm 84 that you withhold no good thing from those whose walk is blameless. So why are you withholding my healing? I just didn't understand. God promised to not withhold any good thing, and to me, walking was a good thing. But then, I'll never forget this one day, a friend said to me, "Joni, I want you to know that I think you're awfully courageous. I mean, I've been looking at you and, I don't know, your smile in that wheelchair. Oh my goodness, it assures me that God is going to help me get through my problems. And I thank you for that." Wow, her comment about courage, it just hit me. It resonated. Something told me that this was God's good thing. I realized God wasn't so much interested in healing my legs, but in healing my heart. God's always interested in our physical well-being, sure, but he is far more interested in our spiritual well-being. He wants a deeper healing. Those good gifts spoken of in Matthew chapter 7, they include gifts of courage and endurance. The Lord wanted me to use my paralysis to cultivate perseverance and patience, and most of all, a deep reliance on Jesus. And man, that's the best thing. That's going to last for all of eternity. And with that, I began to pray for a contented heart, settled thoughts, a mouth that refused to complain, eyes that refused to envy others, and ears that refused to listen to the devilish lie that often said to me, "Joni, you really would be better off dead than disabled." In short, I began to accept God's idea of what's good, a beautiful, deeper kind of good, a great good. This said, I don't know, you might ask God for financial stability, but God may want you to keep leaning on and learning to trust him. You may desire to marry, but God may keep you single and dependent on his grace. You might ask for a clean medical report, but God just may want to give you courage to face the unknown. And these are all good gifts. Over the decades, I've come to highly value things like bravery in the face of suffering, faith and perseverance, endurance, peace that is profound, and joy that is unshakable. Unlike our bodies, these wonderful qualities, you know what? They're gonna last for all of eternity. So I would not trade a Christ-like character for any amount of walking. And I really would rather be in this wheelchair knowing Jesus as I do than to be on my feet knowing less of him. Now, this is not to say that God never miraculously heals, but when he does, I want you to take it as a sneak preview of that glorious day when every disease and every illness will be a thing of the past. Every blind eye will be opened. Every deaf ear will hear. Miracles, and by the way, miracles really are the exception to the rule down here. Nevertheless, miracles should point us to the time when all people who are lame, like me, are going to leap for joy. Walking is a good thing, but a strong faith and happy dependence on God is so much better. Life is richer and far more satisfying when lived with a courageous trust in Jesus Christ. In closing, I realize I have not covered all the questions that you may have about miraculous healing, but let me tell you, Joni and Friends has great resources on the topic, and a few of my own books in which I tackle the topic in depth. And oh, I pray that no matter what your physical needs, you too will find contentment in the one who loves making a deeper healing in our heart.